So you tweak your shoulder and you do what everybody does. You grab the tube of Icy Hot, squeeze out that glossy cream and rub it in. And within about a minute, the magic kicks in. First it goes cold, I mean properly cold, like somebody pressed an ice cube right onto your skin. And then slowly that cold turns a corner and starts to burn. A deep spreading heat, icy then hot, exactly like the name says on the tube. And somewhere under all of that, the ache in the muscle just quiets down. And honestly, it feels powerful. It feels like the cream is doing something real down there, cooling the swelling, then heating the muscle to loosen it up. It feels like medicine. So here's the part nobody tells you. That cream never cooled your muscle, not by a single degree, and it never heated it either. If you slid a thermometer under your skin right into the sore tissue and checked it before and after, it'd read basically the same. Icy Hot doesn't treat your muscle at all. It doesn't even touch the injury. What it actually does is lie to your nerves with a chemical trick so clean it gets you every single time.
And once you see how the trick works, I promise you, you'll never feel that cream the same way again.
So let's slow the whole thing down. And let's start with a question you've honestly probably never asked. How does your skin actually feel temperature? Because here's the strange bit. You don't have a thermometer in your skin. There's no little mercury column in your finger reading off the degrees. What you've got instead are nerve endings, and they're studded with these tiny molecular gates, special proteins called ion channels, sitting right in the wall of the nerve. And each type of gate is tuned to pop open under its own specific conditions. When it pops, it lets a little spark of electricity through, and that spark shoots straight up the nerve to your brain. Now, two of these gates matter for our story. The first one's called TRPM8. TRPM8 is your cold gate. When the temperature around it drops, the gate flicks open, fires off its signal, and your brain reads that signal as one single word, cold. The second one's called TRPV1. TRPV1 is your heat gate. When things get genuinely dangerously hot past about 43 degrees, that gate flings open, fires, and your brain hears hot, burning. So sit with that for a second, because this right here is the whole secret. You don't feel temperature directly, you feel which gate is firing. Cold isn't some number your skin measures. Cold is just TRPM8 sending its little signal. Heat is just TRPV1 sending its. Your entire experience of hot and cold, the whole thing, is nothing more than which of these tiny molecular doors happens to be banging open. And that's the crack in the system. That's the door somebody left unlocked. Because sure, these gates were built to be opened by temperature, but temperature isn't the only thing that can open them. They're proteins with a specific shape, a specific lock. And it turns out some molecules, just by pure chemical luck, happen to be shaped like the exact key that fits that lock. So a molecule can stroll up to the gate and pop it open directly with zero temperature change, and the gate has no idea, it just fires. And your brain, on the other end, has no way to ask why it fired. It just believes it, okay? Now meet the two keys. The first one is menthol. Menthol's the cooling stuff in peppermint, in mint gum, in a really strong cough drop. And menthol is shaped almost perfectly to fit TRPM8, your cold gate. So you rub menthol on your skin and it slips right into those cold gates and props them wide open, thousands of them all at once, without cooling anything by even a fraction of a degree. The gates fire. The signal screams up the nerve, and your brain hears one thing loud and certain: cold, freezing cold. Meanwhile, a real thermometer sitting on that same patch of skin barely moves. Nothing down there is actually cold. Your skin is just reporting a temperature that flat out doesn't exist. The second key is capsaicin. Capsaicin is the fire inside a chili pepper, and it's the classic partner in the hotter muscle rubs. Capsaicin's shaped to fit TRPV1, your heat gate, the one that's supposed to warn you about a stove, a flame. So capsaicin walks up and pops those heat gates open directly. No stove, no flame, nothing on your skin is actually hot. But the gate doesn't care, it fires, and your brain gets the one alarm it was built to be most afraid of: burning. And this, by the way, is exactly why a chili burns your mouth when the salsa is cold. There was never any heat, there was just a molecule picking the lock on your heat sensor. So now look back at that tube of Icy Hot and you can read the whole trick in one go. The icy part, that's menthol flooding your cold gates and your brain screaming ice. The hot part comes from warming agents, methyl salicylate, and in the stronger versions, capsaicin, prying open your heat gates and your brain screaming fire. Two completely opposite temperature illusions, staged one after the other, on a patch of skin whose real temperature never actually changed. It's a smoke alarm going off in a room with no fire. It's a doorbell rung by a magnet instead of a finger. The signal is 100% real. The thing it's reporting is a total fiction. And here's the detail that I think is almost beautiful. All of this, the gates, the nerve endings, the whole show, it's happening in the top couple of millimeters of your skin. The cream barely gets any deeper than that. Meanwhile, the actual muscle, the thing that hurts, the thing you're trying to fix, that's centimeters down, untouched, exactly as warm and exactly as injured as it was a minute ago. Every bit of the drama is a surface performance. The muscle isn't even in the audience. Which leaves us with the real question. If the cream never touches the muscle and the temperatures are fake, then why on earth does the pain actually feel better? And there are two answers, and they're both great. The first one's a piece of neuroscience called gate control. So picture your spinal cord as a narrow doorway, one crowded corridor that every sensation in your body has to squeeze through on its way up to the brain. Your dull muscle ache, that's a quiet, steady, kind of boring little signal just plodding up that corridor. And then you rub on the cream and suddenly you flood that exact same corridor with this huge, loud, dramatic crowd of new signals, icy, burning, tingling, all shouting at once. And the corridor only has so much room. So the loud new sensation literally crowds out the quiet old one. The gate swings partway shut on the ache. You feel the pain less precisely because you're so busy feeling the tingle more. And this isn't some fringe idea, by the way. It's one of the most important theories in the whole science of pain. And you already use it all the time without realizing. It's why you rub a banged shin. It's why you grab a stubbed toe. It's why scratching near an itch helps. You're drowning a small, annoying signal in a big, harmless one. Icy Hot just does it on purpose with chemistry at full volume. The second answer is smaller, but I want to be honest about it. That methyl salicylate, the warming agent, it's actually a chemical cousin of aspirin. A little of it does soak through the skin, and it brings a mild, genuine anti-inflammatory effect along with it. So underneath the giant illusion, there is one small, real drug quietly doing a little bit of real work. Where? Put it all together, and the truth is kind of funny. The spectacular icy hot sensation is pure theater, a trick played on your temperature sensors, and the relief is mostly that theater working. Your brain distracted, the pain gate crowded shut, plus a whisper of actual medicine riding along underneath. And this points at something way bigger than a sore shoulder. Something that's honestly a little unsettling once you notice it. See, you walk around assuming you feel the world directly. That when something's cold, you feel the cold. When something's hot, you feel the heat. But you don't. You feel your receptors report about the world. And that report can be hijacked, rewritten, forged. Menthol makes plain water feel icy. Capsaicin makes cold salsa burn. Peppermint gum makes your breath feel cool. A fever can have you shivering and piling on blankets while your body is already way too hot. And you've probably even felt the trick hang around, chew a strong mint, then take a sip of ordinary tap water, and it hits your mouth like it came straight off a glacier. The water didn't change. Your cold gates are just still propped open from the menthol, still shouting a temperature that was never there. Your thermometer and your thermostat are two totally different machines, and the right molecule can make them disagree completely. So the next time you smear that cream on and you feel it go icy, then hot, then feel the ache melt away, now you'll know exactly what's really going on. The cream isn't talking to your muscle, it never was. It's leaning right down to the nerve endings in your skin, slipping a chemical key into your temperature locks, and whispering a story your brain has no choice but to believe. It isn't healing the injury, it's just changing the subject. And look, that's genuinely useful, so let's be fair to it. For everyday stuff, sore muscles, a stiff neck, general aches, that distraction is real, the relief is real, and in normal amounts it's perfectly safe, but it's a comfort, not a cure. It won't knit a torn muscle back together. It won't drain deep swelling. It won't fix whatever's actually wrong underneath. And more burn does not mean more healing. It just means a louder illusion. So please, never strap a heating pad over a capsaicin rub thinking you're helping it along. That combination can give you a real, actual burn, the one kind of heat in this entire story that is not a trick. The sting fades, the muscle heals on its own schedule the way it was always going to, and the cream for a little while just gave your brain something louder to think about. Now, I genuinely want to know, what other everyday product do you reckon is secretly running a trick on your senses like this one? Drop it in the comments. Seriously, do, because a bunch of them are hiding in plain sight, and there's a real chance the next video is sitting somewhere in your reply. And if you like this, pulling the hidden mechanism out of ordinary things, out of your kitchen, your body, your commute, then subscribe and stick around. Your whole world is quietly talking to you. And it's a lot more fun once you can actually hear what it's saying.